But right now begins the first full weekend of curfews and restrictions on South Beach.
New restrictions were put in place for Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale, putting limits on businesses and on visitors.
And now Miami-Dade County is putting new restrictions on restaurants.
Miami Beach is about to put more police on South Beach than you've ever seen.
A massive underwater fissure stretching over 80 miles along Florida's continental shelf. The satellite imagery, briefly visible before takedown requests flooded in, revealed glowing fault lines, black voids, and even visible collapse patterns heading inland. A deep rumble was detected just hours later, registering as a 6.8 magnitude tremor centered 15 miles off the coast of Fort Myers. Locals described it as a hollow thunder that rolled through the ground, followed by electrical surges and the sudden disappearance of cell phone signals in multiple counties. The U.S. Geological Survey issued no comment, but amateur seismologists pieced together a grim reality. The Florida shelf is fracturing in real time, and once it reaches the Everglades' fragile limestone bedrock, the land may begin to collapse like dominoes. Behind closed doors, FEMA has activated Contingency Exodus Alpha, a mass evacuation protocol never before used in American history. Sources claim plans are being drawn up to relocate up to 6 million Floridians in the span of weeks, including emergency housing across Georgia, Alabama, and the Carolinas. Even Disney World has quietly suspended bookings past September. Yet the official narrative remains silent. There are no press briefings, no emergency alerts, no presidential addresses, only a map of increasing black zones, a growing silence from the government, and the eerie calm before the collapse. Florida isn't sinking. It's being swallowed, and the countdown has already begun. A silent victim is suffering beneath the waves. Florida's coral reefs. Just 40 miles from the epicenter of the sinkhole activity, vast stretches of coral have turned ghostly white. Marine biologists first thought it was typical bleaching from rising ocean temperatures. But then came a shocking twist. Tests revealed severe fluctuations in water salinity and underwater pressure, both linked to the destabilization of the seabed caused by the sinkholes. The coral isn't just dying, it's being suffocated by the very earth collapsing beneath it. In some areas, entire reef shelves have been reported missing, as though they were swallowed whole by the ocean. These reefs, critical to Florida's marine ecosystem and a barrier against hurricanes, are vanishing without a trace. Their disappearance threatens more than just biodiversity. It jeopardizes coastal stability, tourism, and the local fishing industry. This is no longer just a geological event. It's becoming an ecological catastrophe. If these underwater collapses continue, experts warn we may see a mass migration of marine life and an irreversible collapse of Florida's reef system within the next 12 to 18 months. And yet, this isn't even the most terrifying part, because what scientists are finding deep inside the sinkholes may rewrite our understanding of Earth's structure and our place on it. When remotely operated submersibles were finally sent down into the deeper parts of the Florida sinkholes, what they captured defied all expectations. Instead of simple sediment or collapsed limestone, researchers found smooth, cavernous voids stretching hundreds of feet into the earth. The walls weren't jagged or natural looking. They were smooth, almost sculpted, like something had carved its way through the rock ages ago. Some images showed strange mineral formations that resemble stalactites but glow faintly in low light, hinting at unknown chemical compositions. And then came the seismic readings. While mapping these voids, sensors detected rhythmic tremors, pulses coming from below the sinkholes, deep within Earth's crust. These aren't random seismic shakes. They're occurring in timed intervals, almost like a slow heartbeat. Scientists at USGS, United States Geological Survey, are baffled. Some believe we may be dealing with a previously undiscovered geological process. Others aren't so sure. One leaked internal report refers to the area as a subsurface anomaly of unknown origin, sparking wild theories across the internet, ranging from vast underground rivers to ancient subterranean life forms. But even the most skeptical scientists agree. These aren't ordinary sinkholes. The scale, the structure, the pulsations, They all point to something far more complex, and possibly far more dangerous, than anything we've seen before. And as they dug deeper, both literally and metaphorically, they made a discovery that forced them to halt all dives immediately. A discovery that now has the Pentagon watching closely. Shortly after the strange pulsations and mysterious structures inside the sinkholes were reported, something unexpected happened. The U.S. military took over the investigation. Within 72 hours, the area around the largest sinkhole off the Florida coast was designated a classified maritime zone. Civilian researchers from NOAA and independent universities were ordered to vacate. Military vessels appeared almost overnight, patrolling a strict perimeter, and any drone or submersible approaching the zone was electronically disabled or seized. The message was clear. Whatever lies beneath those sinkholes is no longer just a scientific curiosity. It's now a matter of national security. Insiders from the U.S. Navy, speaking under condition of anonymity, revealed that the Pentagon is treating the sinkholes as a potential strategic threat. Why? Because initial scans reportedly found vast metallic signatures deep underground, massive, unidentifiable structures embedded within the earth. Some in the defense community are quietly speculating whether these could be remnants of ancient technology, or worse, evidence of something not entirely natural. Publicly, the Department of Defense insists it's just precautionary surveillance, but behind closed doors, it's a scramble. Top-level scientists from DARPA and NASA have reportedly been flown in to consult, and classified naval dive teams have made multiple descents, none of which have been disclosed to the public. The civilian world is being kept in the dark, but leaks are starting to trickle out, and one in particular has everyone on edge. An intercepted communication referencing a deep core breach event and the term red zone containment. Whatever's down there, it's not just geological, and the military isn't trying to solve it. They're trying to stop it from spreading. The term red zone containment first appeared in a leaked Department of Homeland Security memo dated July 2, 2025. It refers to a rapidly expanding area of instability beneath the Gulf seafloor, centered around the largest Florida sinkholes. The memo details a startling assessment. If the subsurface collapse continues at its current rate, we could be looking at a continental shelf failure. That's not just bad. It's apocalyptic. A shelf failure would mean a massive section of Florida's underwater landmass, spanning potentially hundreds of square miles, could slide into the ocean. That kind of displacement would trigger mega tsunamis aimed directly at the southeastern coast of the United States. Miami, Tampa, even parts of New Orleans and Cuba could face catastrophic waves, with little to no warning. What's even more disturbing, satellite radar now confirms that the seafloor is slowly sinking across a broad elliptical zone. The pattern resembles a drainage spiral, indicating something might be pulling material downward, toward a deeper void. Geologists warn this isn't how normal sinkholes behave. It's too deep, too sustained, too directional. Some now believe this may not be a natural collapse at all. And that raises terrifying questions. Is this the result of secret drilling? A failed underground weapons test? Or, as one leaked NASA communication suggests, an anomaly from the mantle pushing upward? Whatever the cause, the red zone is growing. And with it, so is the risk of a geological chain reaction that could alter the coastline of Florida forever. As scientists race to understand the rapid collapse of Florida's seafloor, one theory gained momentum behind closed doors: the mantle breach theory. This hypothesis suggests that the sinkholes are not just surface-level phenomena, but signs of a far deeper and more dangerous shift, a rupture in the Earth's lithosphere that may be exposing part of the upper mantle. Geologists from MIT and Caltech, using deep seismic tomography, discovered anomalies far beneath the sinkholes, zones of rising superheated rock. These thermal plumes are not supposed to exist near Florida. The mantle, which sits beneath the Earth's crust, is usually well contained by a thick continental plate in this region. But the data suggests otherwise. If the mantle is indeed pushing upward, it could explain the rhythmic tremors, the increasing heat in underwater caverns, and even the strange glowing minerals found near the voids. The pressure from below could be melting the limestone bedrock, creating vast, unstable chambers that eventually collapse, creating sinkholes at the surface. Even more alarming is what happens if the breach widens. Such an event could release gases trapped for millions of years: methane, hydrogen sulfide, or even exotic elements. Worse, it could trigger a chain collapse that fractures Florida's entire southern shelf. The consequences wouldn't just be regional, they'd be global. One unnamed scientist referred to it as a planetary wound opening under Florida. Still, the government remains silent, and the public remains uninformed. But nature doesn't care about press releases. The clock is ticking, and Florida may be sitting atop a pressure cooker waiting to explode. As the military ramped up its classified activity and geological teams scrambled to understand the red zone, a new report slipped through the cracks. This time, from a deep-sea biologist working with a private research vessel that briefly entered the restricted zone before it was fully locked down. What they found wasn't just rocks and water. Their submersible, equipped with high-resolution cameras and temperature sensors, detected unusual life forms inside one of the smaller sinkholes. At first, it was thought to be a swarm of bioluminescent jellyfish, but as the footage was reviewed frame by frame, it became clear. These organisms weren't like anything recorded in known marine taxonomy. They pulsed with electric-like patterns, displayed metallic hues, and moved in complex formations, almost like coordinated behavior. The team recovered microscopic samples of tissue from a nearby ridge. The analysis: fragments of organic material laced with rare earth metals, including neodymium and promethium, elements not normally found in biological tissue. The implications are staggering. Were these creatures a product of extreme evolutionary isolation? Could they be feeding off the strange minerals or energy deep within the earth? Or are they something far more alien? Soon after the discovery was made, the team was reportedly visited by federal agents. Their lab equipment was confiscated, and all files related to the dive were deleted under national security orders. But a single copy of the footage survived, and a 6-second clip was leaked anonymously online before being removed by authorities. In that clip, one of the glowing entities appears to react to the submersible's presence, emitting a bright flash and vanishing instantly, leaving behind a shockwave that disabled their sensors. It's no longer just about geology. The Florida sinkholes may be revealing a hidden biosphere, or something that was never meant to be uncovered. By mid-July 2025, the Florida sinkhole crisis had all the makings of a global headline. Seismic tremors, displaced families, mysterious biological discoveries. And yet, mainstream media coverage plummeted almost overnight. Why? A leaked FCC directive labeled Project Silence Protocol offers a chilling answer. The document outlines emergency communication restrictions authorized under continuity of government, COG laws, typically reserved for wartime or major national disasters. In it, all public broadcasts related to unverified geological instability, unclassified aerial anomalies, and mass subaquatic displacement were deemed a matter of national security. News outlets received quiet warnings, tone down the coverage, or lose access to federal briefings. Social media posts were flagged or shadow banned. Independent journalists trying to enter the restricted zones around the red zone reported being followed, threatened, or simply disappeared from public view. But it gets worse. A whistleblower from a major news network claimed that military officials supplied scripted coverage to be aired in case the story reached critical mass. These scripts downplayed the geological risks, mocked the idea of underwater creatures, and framed the sinkholes as standard karst phenomena, exaggerated by online conspiracy theorists. And yet, the satellite images, leaked dive footage, and rising death tolls told a different story. One journalist, using only a ham radio and coded Morse transmissions, said it best. The Earth is trying to scream through the cracks, and someone is muffling her with red tape. This isn't just a geological disaster anymore. It's a coordinated cover-up. And if they're trying this hard to silence the truth, what else are they hiding? If this video opened your eyes, Don't let it get buried like the truth. Like, share, and subscribe to stay ahead of the stories they're trying to keep underground. Comment below. Do you think this is natural or something far more sinister?